Bell Time by Sophie Tuvey, Chapter 20. You're what? Katie shrieks down the phone and I hold it at arm's length from my ear. You've been going out with this guy for approximately 8 hours and you're going away with him. He suggested that we go and stay somewhere quiet, somewhere where no one knows who we are. Somewhere he can kill you and hide your body and no one will ever find out. He's not like that, I protest. All you've told me about him is what a jerk he is. I think I've probably given him an unfair press. Where exactly are you going? Not far. I think it's someplace in the country. Very specific. He's arranging it. He's even paying. Well, I should think so. He's the only one of you who's coming back alive. I'll have my phone and I'll send you the details of the place. Please, can you trust my judgment for once? When have you ever been right about a guy? She pauses for effect. Jamie, too clingy. George, not serious. Ryan, total waste of space. I don't see you with an excellent track record yourself. I hiss down the phone. Look, if it was me calling you, how would you feel? Admittedly, I would be concerned, but Michael and I are older than you. We're not students anymore. We want to get away and relax in a cottage with a real fire in the middle of nowhere. Sounds great, until he kills you. Will you stop that? You probably won't even get a mobile signal. You won't be able to call for help, even if you needed to, she continues. And anyway, where does he get all his money? You say he's got a house all to himself in a posh part of town, and now he's booking you a last-minute holiday. Isn't he on the same salary as you? He's been teaching for longer, I explain. He probably gets a bonus for being a leading practitioner. Anyway, he works so hard he probably doesn't ever spend much money. This is more tenuous, but I'm going to run with it. Look, it's better than staying in my flat worrying about whether one of my students is going to turn up. Don't you have a ton of work to do? I know it's half term, but you've got to plan for that inspection next week. We'll take our laptops. We can work together. Sure, like that's going to happen. Again, what would you say to me if I told you I was going to take my laptop to a guy's place to study together? Well, I know you and you're very easily distracted. So you two are just going to be discussing educational psychology while planning lessons, are you? Look, it's my time of the month, so nothing's going to be happening in that department, and he knows it. Just don't throw yourself at him. It feels like you've gone from 0 to 60 in 24 hours. I mean, all the guy did was buy you an ice cream. With Michael, everything's 0 to 60, I sigh. He's just that kind of guy. He's always on the move, always planning something, always one step ahead. Don't let him get ahead of you. If it turns out he's taking you away to manipulate you into giving up on the hod job, I will be the one burying a body in the woods. Typical Katie, always so extreme. How is your sister? Michael asked from the doorway of my bedroom. My holdall is open on the bed and I've strewn some clothes messily all over it. He walks in and starts folding everything. She thinks you're going to kill me, I say. I think I could have done that by now if I wanted to. How reassuring, I reply, watching him at work. Instead, you're rolling the air out of my sweaters. Where did you learn to fold like that? Summer job at a department store one year. You are full of surprises. He gives a dry laugh. I keep telling you, I'm as boring as you first assumed when you met me in September. But I want to be different for you. You don't need to pretend with me. He carries on rolling and folding, and I reach out my hand to stop him. Michael? He sighs and looks at me. Don't you ever just want to be someone else? He asks. Not really, I answer flatly. When I'm with you, you make me feel like a different person. Is that a good thing? Yes, he says decisively. I don't get you, I say, turning to pull socks out of my drawer. You've got everything. An amazing house, car, job. Yes, but the only thing penciled in my calendar for this week is potentially playing golf with David to network with other school leaders. And you're not going to go? Because you're with me? I'm not going to go because finally I have something way better with you. That's sweet. You must have other friends, though. I hope he's not clingy like Jamie. He might turn out to be a Heathcliff, raw and passionate on the windy moor, calling my name along the howl of the wind. Jen, most of my friends are lawyers. They don't get half terms. Oh. I've packed everything now except my underwear. I stand up and wait for him to go. Anything else? Yes, but I'm doing it. Remember to roll. Go out there and I'll be with you in a second. That is literally never a truthful statement, but okay. Once I've packed, I check my phone and Claire has posted. Claire, how did it go last night? Seeing my selfie, it feels like 1,000,000 years ago already. Me. Dinner was great. Then we had some issues with the head at the drinks. He's not keen on us dating, so we've gone away to escape for a few days. Claire. Wow, that sounds intense. Dina. Let me guess, everything is under control, right? Me. Absolutely. Me. The head wanted me to withdraw my application. Claire. No! What did you say? Me. I refused, but he made me feel rubbish. Dina. What does Michael think? Me. That David has no right to tell us what to do unless our behaviour is unprofessional. Claire. Yes, but if you two are still going for the same job, isn't that going to be awkward? Me. I think I was originally applying because I didn't want Michael to get it. Now I'm refusing to withdraw to make a point. Dina. Still not sure you should be fraternising with the enemy. Didn't you say he was all buddy up with David? Me. Maybe I misjudged the situation. Claire. Be careful. Their warnings sober me up a little, but the truth is I'm feeling reckless with the prospect of release from the heavy pressure of this term and actually getting away when I didn't really go anywhere all summer. I've also finally found a guy with a house and a car who's willing to take me away. I'm not going to turn that down for the sake of we've only just started dating. In the car, we play the interrogation game. Favourite chocolate bar? I ask. I don't really buy them. I bury my face in my hands. If you had to? Just dark chocolate, 90% cocoa. When you go to the cinema, what is your preference, sweet or salted popcorn? Salted, though I don't really go that often. I will have to drag you to a rom-com, it's obligatory. Do I get to ask you some questions now? Michael says with a glint in his eye. If you like. Do you really like cats? Yes. Would you ever own one? It's on my list of life goals, once I've bought my own place. He winces slightly. Would you say you were an animal person? He continues. Yes, my sister's training to be a vet. Why are you asking me so many questions about animals? I can't stand them, Michael says bluntly. What, all animals? Pretty much. What about dogs? He wrinkles his nose disdainfully. They smell. When I go out running and people's dogs jump up on me, it's awkward. Please don't say that to my sister. Noted. I think about what's going to happen when Katie meets Michael. Why are you screwing your face up like that? He asks. No reason. Ask me another question. He thinks for a moment. Did you always want to be a teacher? I laugh dryly. Did you? I asked first. I sigh. I always wanted to be a writer, but after my mum died, I had to think more clearly about earning a salary. Do you still write? Yes, I falter, but school gets in the way. It does that. We both sit, considering how much school consumes our lives, a hungry monster that's never satisfied. Will you let me read some of your work? I look at him. Now he's really asking to see shades of me he's never seen before. You have to be nice. He sighs. I'm not a nice person, Jen. You should know that by now. You've been really nice to me, I say sincerely. Even when I kicked a football in your face? That was an accident, right? I grin. You changed the batteries on my clock. That wasn't kindness, just compulsive behaviour. My phone buzzes and I look down. It's Dad calling. Katie's probably tipped him off that I'm eloping. I slip my phone back into my handbag and return to staring at the increasingly rural landscape around us. We're off the motorway and surrounded by autumnal colour, the trees spaced over rolling fields. Not far now, Michael says. I gaze covetously at the large detached properties with climbing roses. There are occasionally for sale signs, but I can't even afford a garage around here. If only I could get out of that flat. I scowl at the people in Audis and 4x4 trucks, picking up organic meat from the deli and coffee from some special grinder that sings. They don't need to hide their tea bags in a filing cabinet. Everyone here is going to be wearing posh wellies and gilets, I moan. Didn't you pack any? He gives me a sideways smile. Yeah, because of all that country walking I do from my flat to school every day. It's about time you got some fresh air. Stepping out of the car, the breeze is cool and the afternoon sun is low in a grey sky, but it feels cleansing to breathe air that is nowhere near the radius of school. The house is on an ordinary residential street, and I'm fluttering with nerves as I meet Michael at the boot of the car. I've got your bag. He lifts it out easily with his own. I wrap my coat around me more tightly and follow him up the path. The garden is well kept and the front door is primrose yellow. I take this as a good sign. Michael lowers the bags and is just about to ring the doorbell when the door suddenly swings open. Hello! It's a lady, well into retirement, and she's wearing a gilet. Her accent sounds like the Queen. You must be Michael! Come in, come in! Her name is Sylvia. She introduces herself, smiling eagerly, with bright blue eyeshadow and pink lipstick freshly applied. As we enter the hallway, there's a large dresser filled with ornaments. Most of them are ducks. Do you like my collection? She gestures as we walk past. I nod and follow as she strides on into the kitchen. It's authentically vintage, the expensive kind rather than the bric-a-brac kind. Blue and cream measuring jugs and brass scales. Now, feel free to use the kitchen whenever you need it, Sylvia continues. I'll take you out to your room through my yoga studio. She leads us into a small bare room with large patio doors. On the walls, there are several certificates for yoga instruction, aromatherapy, and breathing, presumably for something more than just the automatic intake of oxygen we all do 10 times a minute. The laminate floor is squeaky and polished, with a few roll mats in the corner and a CD player. You are welcome to join in my sessions any time, Sylvia says. I try to imagine Michael doing yoga and stifle a laugh. We cross the room and walk along a short corridor to a back door, where Sylvia steps into some wellies. I give Michael a look and suppress another giggle. As she rustles the keys to unlock the door, we hear barking and some scuffling. Is there a dog? Michael asks immediately. 2, Sylvia says airily, wrestling with the keys. Donald and Daisy. Like the ducks. I make the connection. I don't, Michael begins, but it's too late. She's opened the door. A huge greyhound bounds in, followed by a yapping whippet. I don't know how they know, but they both go straight for Michael. Donald! Daisy! Sylvia scolds them in a bless kind of way. Michael gives a muffled cry, holding the bags up by his head as Donald crashes around him, while Daisy looks about to tear into his ankles. I push him out through the door, hoping that if we go outside, the dogs will scatter. They swarm around us and run under our feet, moving with us like a dust cloud that blurs our vision. Added to this is a sudden cacophony of noise from a group of ducks gathered near a pond at the bottom of the garden. When I say garden, it's more like the size of a bowling green. Just along here. Sylvia leads us through the lawn, hopping on some small hexagonal patio slabs. I won an award for this garden. It's a Zen garden, very relaxing. I register the water features and Buddha statues while Michael tries to keep the bags out of the dog's reach and avoid his trousers being torn off. Do you like dogs? Sylvia asks innocently. Yes, Michael says through gritted teeth, though perhaps if you could restrain them. She grabs onto Donald's collar and starts fussing him. You are so exuberant, aren't you? She says with such affection that I wouldn't be surprised if she kissed him. Go on in, the door's open. I finally notice the cabin. It's smart with wood panelling and pretty little windows. Michael practically dives inside to get away from the dogs. I follow and it's so perfect my jaw drops. It's small, but it isn't cramped somehow. There's a wood-burning stove, a sofa, and a neat desk area fitted into an alcove. There's a small bathroom and a kitchenette. This is amazing. I turn to smile at Michael, who looks relieved but also keeps darting glances at the patio doors. The dogs are chasing each other, and the ducks are mildly interested, squawking to each other as they observe. Sylvia joins us and thankfully leaves the dogs on the lawn. "If it feels chilly, light the stove and you'll soon be snug in no time," she says. "You just fold down the sofa to turn it into a bed. The bedding's all tucked away over here, Jane." "It's Jen," I correct, exchanging a smile with Michael. "Oh, sorry, head like a sieve. Anyway, you're always welcome in the house." She adds this on, hopefully. "Thank you," I say. She hangs on to prattle for a few more painful minutes, and when she's finally gone, Michael sinks onto the sofa with a groan. "It didn't say there were dogs or ducks." I put the kettle on. "This place is lovely. You did a great job finding it." "Why do people have dogs?" "She probably likes the company." "She's nuts, isn't she?" "Just a little quirky." I fish around for tea bags. "She's very thoughtful. We won't have to see much of her." "I think we should barricade ourselves in." Michael starts to build a fort of cushions around himself. "Just listen," I say, and he stops. There is a beautiful silence. "See? We came here to get away from it all, and it's the perfect escape." I hand him a cup and settle next to him, sipping my tea. "If that dog jumps up on me again, I will not be held responsible for my actions."